Everyone, welcome to another edition of Cory Means Business, YouTube and podcast. Thank you for joining us. Today we've got a really special guest. We have Jiosaavn from Organically Good Juices. Which does cold pressed juices, which are pretty awesome from what I can see. Definitely looking forward to trying some. She's a young business owner, just got started, has been in business now for a couple of months, and it's going really good. She was actually able to quit her day job, so congratulations on that. So Jiosaavn, introduce us. Tell us, why did you get started? Like what brought you to say, hey, I got to open my own juicing business up?
Well, thank you for having me, first off. It wasn't something I planned, so it definitely wasn't something that I was like, oh, I'm going to open up a juicing business. This is what I'm going to do. It kind of just fell in my lap, and it ended up working out great, thankfully. I was working for a former employee where we sold juices, and I've always juiced for myself, so it definitely kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone to see if anybody would be interested in buying my juices if I were to make them. And the amount of support I received was not what I expected, which grew immediately, and was able to, leave my job and start focusing on that, starting creating recipes, learning what fruits and vegetables are good for you and how you can juice and what is juiced, what comes out good when you juice it together.
So basically, the idea really kind of just came from something you had always done for yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So like a personal passion. Mm-hmm. And so you said, hey, I'm going to take this personal passion that I have, and I recognize there's an opportunity because you saw where you were working at before that people were coming in for it. So you saw the need.
Mm-hmm.
So
and we only had 2 flavors. So it's like, wow, if I can make a whole menu and give people more options and give you a lot more actual juice than if you go to a store and you get juice in a cup full of ice.
Right. So you recognize the opportunity to say, I'm seeing somebody that's positioned in this market and they're doing it a certain way, but I see there's an opportunity to actually expand upon that and do it better, right? Which right there's a teaching moment for the audience, which is to say, look, you don't have to ever reinvent the wheel. You don't have to, come up with some great, idea. You don't have to invent the iPhone or anything like that. You just have to say, look, what can I do? What's my skill set? What am I good at? What do I like to do? It can be a personal passion, it can be a skill that you have. And then you look around and you say, okay, what's in demand? What do people want? And how could I do it better than those that are already doing it? And there's always ways to do it better. It doesn't matter what it is. You can always do it better, whether the experience is better, the product is better, and hopefully both, right? You want a superior product and a superior experience, which really kind of goes into it. Okay, so that's how you ended up doing it. So then you said in the pre-show you were telling me that it kind of got started because you started doing it. You was doing it as a side hustle at first. You just didn't quit your job. And,
I was just kind of doing it for like friends and family, like people that were following me on Instagram, and just kind of placing orders. I only came out with 4 juices, I believe, in the beginning, and people were just reaching out to me. I caught myself making more money, outside of work than I was during work. I was offering to leave when I would go into work because I wanted to go home to juice. And fast enough, within 2 months, I left my job.
And that's awesome because obviously, being able to start a business as a side hustle versus, going out and saying, okay, I'm going to open a store and I'm going to get a location and I'm going to need inventory and employees and personnel and all this stuff. That's the harder way to do it, obviously, and the much riskier way to do it. And I wanted to dedicate this show to one of my followers that had a question for me. He asked me. He said, "Hey, I'm thinking about starting a business, and I want to take out a loan from a bank, and I want to get a location, and I want to get all these, this equipment and stuff like that." And I said, "Well, how much do you think you're going to need?" And he's like, "Oh, about $100,000." And I was like, "Well." He's a young guy, and I said, "Well, you're a young guy, and I don't know if you have a lot of collateral, but banks just don't hand out $100,000 loans to somebody with a business idea." So I said, "It's probably not the route to go. Better to do something on the side like you did, and, something cheap, but something you can do, and don't quit your day job. Do it as a side hustle first. Make sure that you like it. Work out the kinks, work out the bugs, work out the logistics, right? The supply chain issue, how you're going to do it. So when you do it as a side hustle at first, you get to experiment more because the pressure isn't on, right? So
you're not depending on that job.
Correct. If you quit your job and say like, oh shit, this better work, well then now you're,
and it's still a risk when you quit your job. It's just you're more comfortable. You've kind of learned it more, and you kind of you know it like the back of your hand. If you're willing to leave your job and you're depending on that, you're confident in your business and your product.
Which is a great point, which, because some people will ask, well, where is that point? Where's that comfortability point? Like, how do I know I've achieved my side hustle enough to where I could be comfortable to quit my day job? And my answer is always the same, which is at what point, or as soon as you're at a point where the per hour you're spending on your side hustle, what you're making per hour, not in gross revenue, but in actual profit, like what you're going to put in your pocket, as soon as that equals what you make in your day job, you can quit your day job. That way, you've replaced it. Now you just take the hours you were working at your day job and you apply that to the side hustle. It could be the same rate, $20 an hour here, $20 an hour here. Now you can then go full-time at your business, and now it becomes a full business, a full-time business. And again, you're right at the same $20 an hour, except for you're working for yourself now versus working for somebody else. And then you can grow it from there. Yeah. So that's always the answer, is when do you make the transition? So you made the transition. You're now doing this full-time. I am. 2 months now, right?
For 2 months.
Okay. So tell us these cold pressed juices. What do they do? Why should I buy one from you? Like, what's the pitch?
You should definitely buy them because I give you your money's worth of juices. I've gone to multiple places where, yes, you'll pay $9 for a very good juice, but if it were to come down to it, you're getting 3/4 of a cup of ice. Like, you're getting more ice than what you're getting for juice. So that was my first thing that I tell people. You're getting what you pay for. You're getting a whole bottle of juice. You're not just getting a little bit covered with ice. I also took the time to acknowledge myself and educate myself on the fruits and vegetables. Like I said, everything that heals you, and taking the time to see what helps with bloating and what can help with your skin and what can help with certain stomach aches, because you can find it all within fruits and vegetables.
Sure.
And so definitely, once I got the feedback from people, when they would request certain things from me, hearing the feedback is always scary because you're not sure what you're going to hear. And just hearing all the positive things just made me confident. And now I can introduce my juice and know that what I'm selling you, you're going to like. And I give samples all the time because I'm confident. Like, people will be like, no, I don't want a green juice. And I'm like, trust me. Yes, you do. And so, yeah, definitely just putting in the time and effort and making sure everything tastes good, everything goes well together, taking the time to get the right machines that you need so it's actually cold pressed juice, made me very confident. Oh, that's nice. Why you should buy one.
So you said, you told me that your operation right now is that you actually have a commercial kitchen preparing it for you.
Correct.
So it's your recipes and what you want into it, but then they're actually
Well, no, I rent the kitchen. I go make them myself. So, I go make them myself. Okay. That's just the legal way to make it right now, since I don't have a kitchen myself or a shop or anything like that.
Right.
I'm able to rent a kitchen and bring my own machine, bring my produce, my bottles, package everything up.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. So she's making another great point for young entrepreneurs, which is, hey, look, maybe she could max out all of her credit cards and she go borrow money from friends and family and get her own little kitchen going. But now she has that to pay back. She now has, a lot more overhead. Whereas a new business that taking out, biting off too much overhead and loans, especially if you're not just flat using your own money, it becomes very, very risky. And a lot of businesses fail like that. So again, being able to do what you're doing, which is to say, look, I can rent the equipment that I need versus
smart.
Buying it, right? Yeah, maybe the profit margin won't be quite as high as if you own the equipment because you got to pay for that. But at the same time, your risk is mitigated as well.
Yeah.
So it's really the smarter way to do it to start. And again, at some point, I'm sure, you get this to a certain point, a certain revenue level, you will be in a position to say, look, this is a, sustainable business. I've got a sustainable business model. It's bringing in X amount of revenue. I can buy the equipment. and now you can keep
move on to the bigger picture.
Exactly. Keep on expanding, right? Which is part of the scaling, the scaling of the business overall. So again, she's very smart. She's found a couple of different ways to say, look, I'm going to come into this, and I'm not going to have much money. I'm not going to have I'm not going to take loans. Not going to take a lot of risk, but I'm going to make it work in stages gradually. So very smart, because now you're going to be on solid ground the whole time.
Yeah.
So really it comes down at this point then just basically to saying, okay, I've got my juices down. I've got my manufacturing down. I've got my product deliverable. Now it just comes down to scale, right? And so now you want to scale it. How many juices a week are you selling right now, would you say?
Right now, I would say about 350 to 400.
Okay, so 350 to 400 bottles of juice. Okay. So you're bringing in about 20 in gross sales. When you talk about like the price, you're bringing in what, about $2,500 a week? Is that what about it is? Okay, because I cheated and I looked at her prices on her Instagram. So, and her Instagram is Organically Good Juices. That's just it, right? Just at Organically Good Juices. Okay, so easy to find her on Instagram. The prices are all there. The menus are there. Cool pictures of the juices are there. All that stuff. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, the way you're doing it, to be able to do $2,500 a week, $10,000 a month in gross sales, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, you definitely have a really good base for your business to continue to grow. Right now, is it just you? Have you brought on anybody else to help you make the juices yet, or it's just you making them?
Right now, it's just me. Sometimes I have my boyfriend help me, but besides that, yeah, it's just me. I'm the only one. Started paying myself hourly, and so that worked out very well. Okay,
awesome. Okay, so now we want to scale. We want to go from 350 to 500, 600, and then just keep scaling it. Is a commercial kitchen? I mean, is it capable? I mean, what's the limit of the commercial kitchen? Can you make as many as you want? Is there an hour? Okay.
So you just rent it, by the hour basically. Okay. So it's a restaurant. It used to be a restaurant, and so now they rent out their kitchens to food trucks. So food trucks will go make their food there and then be able to take it in their food truck. So yeah, you just rent it hourly.
Okay.
So right now I just basically choose 3 good days to go and then juice them those days.
And again, I'm sitting here thinking about it while we're having this conversation. I'm like, well, I mean, shit, you might not ever need your own kitchen. I mean, again, it depends on what the math comes out to. Which I'd be happy to sit down with you, on a consulting basis and take a look at your numbers as far as like, cost of goods sold, what the cost of the kitchen is, what your total overhead is, what the profit margin is. And then we can say, okay, at what point does it make sense for you to have your own kitchen or does it, ever, right? Because it might not, because that comes with another group of headaches. You may make an extra 50 cents a bottle of water, but at the same time, like, the headaches that come with that too, insurance and all kinds of things. Right. So, it might not be, this might be a great model for you, especially to scale at least to, a couple thousand bottles a week.
Yeah.
I could see no problem with that whatsoever. Okay. So let's talk about how we scale then. So you're 350, 400, how do we get you to that 1,000, right? How do we get to that 1,000 bottles a week?
I definitely, right now, I am trying to introduce myself to gyms, so expanding the people that know who I am, and it's hard because you can't really just put yourself on Google. I'm not a shop. You can't just find me like that,
Right.
So definitely just expanding myself. I like to go to a lot of places, like the gyms. I like to go to personal gyms, talk to the workers there. Right now, what I'm trying to do is get my juices into like certain places, certain personal gyms. I had the first restaurant carry my juices in Phoenix. So that was a big step. Thank you. So yeah, just now expanding it to places that can sell it. That way they get their customer base as well. And I'm expanding it to their customer base and everyone that can go there and get them.
Okay. So are you looking, is your vision to do more direct sales or to do more just distribution through nutrition places and wellness places, or what's your vision for how you want to?
I would say I like direct sale.
Okay.
I didn't think somebody would reach out to me wanting to carry my juices, so that came in the picture once that happened. Once I got that opportunity, I didn't really ever think of that. I definitely want to do that. So my next goal is maybe getting like a mobile juice truck. That way I do have the whole kitchen myself in there, and I am able to actually be mobile and go places and park somewhere, and people drive by and see who I am.
Right, right. And again, I mean, that might be something that, especially for promotion purposes, maybe, once we actually have some fun things coming back online, festivals and things like that, you can
Kind of
do
harder
that
right now.
Right now though, I really wouldn't put that into, I wouldn't throw that wrinkle in your process yet, because what you have going is going really good.
Yeah.
So you just want to say, hey, until I really maximize, until you really maximize the model you have right now, which is clearly shown to be very profitable, and you don't want to just start throwing extra things in there for no reason, right? So your Instagram, we'll talk about, okay, so let's talk about how we're going to market then. So again, I like the idea, doing direct sales, knocking on doors and, hitting people up and stuff like that. I love it. I love direct sales. It's how I came up. But with social media being what it is, I'm loving social media for being a primary driver of leads and of branding and all that kind of stuff. And it's easy and it's cheap and it's fast and you get in front of a hell of a lot more people. So if you stick with the direct sales model, you can really, again, get your customers coming to you. Now, I'm assuming in this 350, 400 bottle a week, you probably have quite a few repeat customers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Right. All right. So I kind of think that's where really you're going to make, really be able to create that great foundation is in repeat customers, right?
Exactly. You want to be consistent, not just make a sale and go on.
Exactly. Right. So it comes down to customer capture, lead capture, which a lot of businesses flat miss, right? So a lot of businesses, a customer comes in or calls them or DMs them or whatever. Here's what I'm selling you. Here's your bottle of water. Thanks a bunch. Here's our Instagram, and that's it, right? Find me again when you need me. And that's a big mistake, right? So customer capture, you want to capture emails, cell phone numbers, first names, cell phone numbers, and emails. Emails at least, right? Cell phone numbers if you can, because then you can re-promote back to the cell number. You can send text messages. Hey, we've got a new juice that came on, and not necessarily you're going to just throw out discount codes. You're going to offer all these discounts, but one of the big things for a type of products that you sell like this is going to be like, especially again, wellness products, things that are going to be repeat buys. You want to start like a club or like a membership, right? To where you say, hey, if you join the club, if you join this membership, and you can even charge membership fees.
Yeah.
$25 get you in the OGJ club, right?
Yeah.
And with that, you get like a discount, a little discount up
Towards your juices.
Or toward these mini juices and, some kind of perk system where they would be able to get the perk system. And that's a great way to capture repeat business, right? And again, you then capture the email, capture the text, and then you could send out new juice notices, things like that.
Newsletters.
And it's just a little touch. And once you get up to 2,000-3,000 customers, I mean, to be able to just touch 2,000, 3,000 people like instantly with a text message blast or with an email, an email saying, hey, we got a new juice, try it. You hit that 3,000 people, other people, people that maybe haven't bought from you in a few months or a couple months or a few weeks, kind of out of sight, out of mind. All of a sudden you're in front of them and it's like, oh crap, that's right. The juices, I got to get back on that. Exactly. So it's an easy, cheap way to just cultivate your customer base, right? So that's something, especially at the level you're at right now, where you only have like maybe 50, 60, 70 repeat customers. Grab their information, set up an email system or set up a text system. They're super easy. You can find them online. One that's real easy that I kind of like is I'm gonna forget the name. I don't give them a free promo anyway, but you can find a lot of like email services, drip, called customer drip services online, and they're really cheap. They're like subscription based, $40 a month, and you can put 10,000 people in there. Wow. And then you can just send them a mass email. You can make it, print it up, and then send it. There's all kinds of services that do that. Just Google it, and you'll come across to them. And that's really good because you want to capture those customers. And so many businesses do not capture their customers. So right there, again, I think that just being able to touch your customers will lead to more repeat business, especially again when you bring on a new juice and it's a big deal. Oh, I got to try that new juice. Then again, let's talk about like cultivating new customers, right? So now you've got your Instagram. This is what you're branding with. This is what you're doing online promotions with. She has 828 followers, and she's only following, I think, 500 and something. She's not even following me yet. Can you believe that? What an insult! What an insult! But she's going to follow me.
Yes.
So what you want to do is you want to follow people, right, in order to get them to follow you. And you said your customer profile. Now, again, every business should ask this question: who's my best customer? Like, who is, like, not the person's name.
You want to learn,
the demographic, like how old are they? What do they do for a living? What's their income level? What are their interests? What area of town do they live in? All the things demographically about them is that you want to learn. And then you want to develop a customer profile. So then you say, okay, my perfect customer is a 42-year-old mother of two that lives in, this area of town, that makes this much money, that has like these interests, right? And then that becomes your perfect customer profile. And the reason why you create that is so when you target your branding or your advertising like that, right? That's who you want to go for.
Yeah. Okay. You know what you're aiming for.
Exactly, right? And again, and naturally you'll get a little bit you'll get little different people in that group anyway, but target your best customer, target your best customer profile, because that way it's going to make your advertising dollars, it's going to make your effort be that much better. Because if that type of person has a 20-25% more chance of doing business with you than somebody that's not that, well, then you never want to stop targeting those people until they run out. Yeah,
exactly.
They're not going to run out, right? So, follow. So what you'd want to do with your Instagram is you want to start looking for, that customer, and start following them, interact with them, right? And then they'll follow you back, interact with you. So again, just shoot it from you more what you're going for. But I would assume, again, your best customer is probably 40s, upper 30s, 40s, mom, looking to lose some weight, wanting to feel better, things like that. So that's who you'd want to follow on your Instagram. And again, locally, all your customers are local. They're not, you're not shipping out of state or anything like that yet. So again, make sure they're all in Tucson, or make sure they're in Arizona, wherever your distribution is easy. Yeah. And then you have, the great thing about Instagram, and obviously you guys know I mention this almost every show, is you can follow up to 7,500 people.
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to follow 7,500 of your favorite athletes and Instagram influencer girls. Yeah,
someone's not going to know
the Kardashians. I always pick on the Kardashians. I don't know why. It's just so easy, I guess. Because they're not going to follow you back. Yeah. They're not going to interact with you back. So
they don't know who you are.
Correct. And they don't care who you are. Yeah. So follow people who are going to be your best customer. Interact with them. Like their posts. Maybe make some comments. They'll follow you back, and you can pretty much get a one-to-one follow. And again, what you do is once a week, you go in and you look at who you're following and whether they're following you or not, and then you unfollow those that didn't follow you, right? Now, if they follow you later, well, then you can follow them back, right? Other than that, that's a great way to get your one-to-one ratio to where you can really get your followers up to 7,500. For free, right? Now this is just elbow grease, right? Because you don't have a big advertising budget yet. We'll get you there, but you don't have one yet. But imagine 7,500 of your perfect customers, all following you, all interacting with you, all loving what you're doing, right? Now, when you put out, "Hey, I got a new juice," you can see the impact that would have, right? So local businesses, really, that's the biggest, quickest thing you can do when you're starting your business and you're growing your brand, especially if you're local, because for a business to have 7,500 people looking at their stuff all the time locally is huge.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. So, and then Facebook, you got to start your Facebook. She says she doesn't have a Facebook page yet. You got to start it.
I will.
Link the two. And you don't have to do different content on your Facebook than you do on Instagram. You can do the same content. If you link them,
it'll post the same.
It'll post it to both, right? But the reason why you want your Facebook is because your Facebook has the ad manager on Facebook is way superior to Instagram. Ads on Instagram are like 5 little things. The one on Facebook is way better. And also advertising on Facebook is way cheaper than it is on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram can get expensive.
Yes. So Instagram is the premium service. Facebook, as you know, owns Instagram. So Instagram is the premium service. Younger demographic there too. I think your perfect customer
is going to be
on Facebook, right? And there's more places to advertise in Facebook, right? Whereas Instagram just has the news feed, right? There's no place else. But Facebook has, all these different groups and all these different things they've created to actually put advertising space in. That's why it's cheaper to advertise on Facebook. Like you'll get in front of more people on Facebook than you will on Instagram. So if you grow your Facebook, feed your Instagram, but grow your Facebook, then you'll be able to advertise through Facebook, and then you'll get the traffic on Instagram as well, right? And for someone in your situation, I mean, even if you spend like $100 a month on advertising on Facebook, as long as the target audience is really, really well done,
it'll pay itself off.
Yeah, you can get in front of 20,000 new people a month for $100.
Yeah,
20,000 of your perfect customers for $100. So if you're doing that with the Instagram, you're doing that with the Facebook, right? You're following, you're interacting. People are going to DM you. They're going to be placing orders. Again, it's a great way to grow it. Then again, capture your current customers so that you can text them, email drip them, text drip them. There's texting services too online where you can go on and enter their phone numbers and then do a mass text out. And that just works amazingly. So again, I don't think you need to change anything about. I think your price point is fine. I think your operation is fine. You're just looking to scale right now. You're just looking to go from 350 bottles to 1,000 bottles, and that'll get you there. And again, basically for free, or again, or the $100 a month. You don't want to spend a ton of money on it. You can drive around and visit gyms and stuff, but this is a better use of your time.
People spend hours scrolling down their feed, so if they run into that.
Again, I love knocking on doors. Again, I've always been a direct marketing kind of a person. I've always done that for my businesses. But man, the power of social media, if you work it right, is just, you can touch so many more people so much faster, and they're your perfect people.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
People are avoiding if they have to go anywhere, they'll just order it through a message if they can.
And the way you're doing it too, right? You're delivering, you're delivering, and then you're also doing the farmers market.
Correct.
So every Sunday. Okay, which farmers market is it? Where is it?
Diamondbacks Farmers Market. It's on 22nd and Pantano.
Okay, 22nd Pantano. So the way it works is you place an order with her. She'll have your juices ready for you on Sunday. Meet her at the farmer's market. Pick up your juices, right?
Yep. Correct.
And you said they last for about 3 or 4 days in the fridge, you can put them in the freezer even, and they last a lot longer?
6 months, yep.
Oh, 6 months.
Yeah, and they'll stay completely fresh until you.
So you can place a big order. You can place a huge order, 6-month order.
People do.
Yeah, she'll give you a little discount too for placing a huge order like that. So
exactly.
So yeah, I think if you did that, and again, obviously you're bubbly, you got a great personality. I'm sure your customers love you already. You're clearly a people person. This is the first podcast YouTube show she's ever done, and she didn't freeze up. So that shows that she's going to be really good at dealing with the customers. Other than that, I just don't think there's anything else for you to do right now. I wouldn't want to confuse you with do this and
change
do that.
paths.
There's other things you can always do as you scale, right? So like scaling the business always comes in stages. Quit your job. You're doing this full time. You got a really good foundation already. Scale that up. Again, once you get to 1,000 bottles, 1,250, if everything's still going smooth, just keep it going, save your money, okay? Because eventually, if you do say, okay, I've saturated the Tucson market, everybody in town knows who I am, we need a truck so we can go hit Phoenix or, whatever. Well, then you can do that, and you'll have a ton of money in the bank, and
it'll be safe.
You'll have a huge, exactly, no risk, right? Because while business is always a risk, you don't want to be foolish, and you don't want to take risks that are uncalculated, right? So you want to take calculated risks in business. And when it comes to expansion, you never want to borrow money to expand. Okay. Now that's counterintuitive for some people because yes, I'm very familiar with bridge loans and VC loans and regular bank loans, line of credit and stuff. And you know, if you have a manufacturing facility and you're manufacturing big products and you are getting lead times where you have to produce something 6 months in advance for your customers, yes, a line of credit would certainly help you to bridge the gap between beginning production and obviously the actual delivery to your customer and the sale. But for the type of business you have, for a service-based business or for a product business like this, borrowing money, you stay away from it. Stay away, do it with your own money.
Yeah.
So save your money during this process so that when you, again, do want to expand, again, if it does make sense to get your own kitchen at some point, you have the money to do it. If a truck, you know, you can produce the stuff between the leased kitchen and the truck and you can make as many bottles as you want, why take any more risk than that?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I always loved, you know, businesses and, you know, all my businesses are run like this. You keep it high and tight, right? High and tight. Don't ever get yourself overextended. Always have tons of money in the bank. And then that way, when there is something that comes along, like the Rona, right, that throws people a curveball, you're not destroyed, you know. Unfortunately, this last year I've dealt with, you know, a lot of the coaching I've done has been with small businesses that have been destroyed by that because they didn't have cash reserves. They had expanded too fast, too much, and when that happened, the lockdowns came and people got scared to go out of their houses. They couldn't survive, you know, or they got in financial trouble, you know, and that they max out credit cards and they have to get all this, you know, desperate financial stuff going. So don't ever put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, that definitely is what made me want to go the other route is how can I build a business without having to get a shop or feel the need that I need to open up a shop to have a juice bar? Like, you don't have to do none of that at all. Right. You can rent a kitchen. Schools were closed for a whole year. You can literally rent a kitchen at a school, Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, wow.
The health department will give you a whole list. So, places I didn't even would have thought that, wow, that's up to standards and I can just make things there.
So you did your research when it came to exactly how your process was going to work.
Yeah, I actually watched YouTube videos about how to start a juicing business from home. I think that definitely helped a lot. That's where I kind of realized you don't need to open up a shop. You don't need to go ask for money. You can literally start it with friends and family, see how it goes, get comfortable, and then you don't want to go into a shop and then realize 3 months in it's not working out.
Right.
Because now you're in a contract.
Yeah. Well, you know, and again, you hit the nail on the head, you know, and I see so many businesses do that and so many, you know, brand entrepreneurs do that. Go to their friends and family to get their credit cards, max out their credit cards, borrow money from friends and family, spend all this money, open a shop. 3 months later, it fails. And now you owe your family money. Your credit cards are maxed out. You quit your job already. Yeah.
Everyone hates you.
Yeah. You don't want to go to Thanksgiving anymore because you owe everybody their money, right? So, it's not a good scenario. So definitely avoid that. So the way you've done it is fantastic. So happy to see that you're super smart about it and intuitive, obviously. And you're doing it the right way. Again, with some of these changes, I think, or just some of these, you know, implementations, not even changes, but just implementations and little strategies to grow. Again, I think you're just going to keep knocking it out of the park.
Thank you. That's hopefully.
Yeah, great. You have any questions for me? Anything else you want to get out there? Anything else you want to say to your fans?
My first podcast of many.
Good.
I hope to talk to you again.
Yeah.
I'll be in a whole different level, hopefully.
Yeah, you know, and I'd love to have you back. And I say that every single show, right? Because I want to see, you know, the growth. I want to see, you know, hey, we laid out a little plan. I want to see the growth that comes out of that. And then I want to see, you know, where, because again, I mean, we could take this business to national level, you know, $100 million business. Again, it has that potential. Every business has that potential. But you have to do it in steps. You don't want to get ahead of yourself. You don't want to say like, well, I'm going to be $100 million business. You know, slow down. You
want to be realistic.
Yeah. Let's get you profitable. Let's keep you profitable. Let's get a bunch of money in the bank. And then we talk about expansion and things like that and employees. And I mean, all those things can come in due time, but they need to come at the right time.
Yeah.
And if you rush any of it, you'll get crushed. Now, you don't want to miss opportunity. So you don't want to be too tempered, but at the same time, you know, again, calculated risks. Nothing that if you make this move. So if you want like a rule of thumb, if you guys want a rule of thumb of like what risks to take and what not to take, here's your litmus test. If this move doesn't work, do I survive? If the answer is no, then do not do it. Okay. If the answer is yeah, it may hurt, it may sting, it'll be disappointing, but I survive. My business doesn't go out of business if that doesn't work. Well, then it's a decently calculated risk. But if the answer is, oh no, if it doesn't work, I'm done. Well, then don't do it.
Yeah.
So that's a good, easy rule of thumb. So awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Man, your customers are going to love what you're doing. And I can't wait for a lot more people to find out about you so they can start reaching out and buying this great juice. We didn't really talk about the benefits, but losing weight, the immune system, getting the immune system strong is a big one. I'm not going to be getting the jab, so I'm focused on my immune system. They can keep their chemicals. I'll take my strong immune system over chemicals any day. So that's awesome. So people that are looking for their immune system to be boosted, looking to lose weight, looking just to feel better overall. I mean, this is for them. So. All right. Well, thank you so much. If you guys have enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, share, get her message out there. Help me get her message out there and help other entrepreneurs, obviously, that want to see these journeys. Let them get inspired, help them to be inspired, and help them to see too what to do and how to do it. So these are huge videos. So Nico, you asked me this question. This just happened to happen. It was kind of crazy, but Nico asked me this exact question. And we've walked you through it. So now you know exactly how it's done. So you already are helping people. See that?
That's great to hear.
Awesome. Thank you so much. See you guys on the next show.